Hey, what's your self-talk? Jabari is here from What's Your Self-Talk podcast. And listen, I want you to download Anchor right now. Because chances are you're listening to this and you're saying, I got some things I want to share. I have some things that I've wanted to put in the podcast form. Here's the opportunity. Anchor is free. You can do it from your phone and you can be on all the different podcast stations all in one app. Okay. So what I need you to do is stop waiting for the perfect time, analysis paralysis. Do it now. You'll thank me later. What's your self-talk? Hey, what's your self-talk? This is Jabari again with another podcast. And I'm pretty excited about this podcast topic because it's something that we all can benefit from, but something that I have been doing for quite some time. And it actually started with the name of this podcast, What's Your Self-Talk? So understanding your subconscious mind and protecting your subconscious mind. Now, if you don't know what that means, I'm going to spend maybe 2 weeks, not sure exactly how much, but I want to dive into this topic from a study perspective so that you can see, what is the discoveries that we need to understand when it comes to our mind, how it calculates information, how it stores information. And you ever heard somebody say, oh man, I can never get that out of my mind, because that is true. So it's a lot of things that I want to touch on and I want to talk about, but I want to just tell you a little bit about what even got me on this topic and why I believe you need to value it just as much as I do. So, as you know, last week we talked about marriage, and I just thought about, all the things that I want to accomplish, that I want to do for my family, that I want to have an impact. And I think the biggest thing you have to realize is you are what you put in your mind. And I enjoy learning, but I also start to reflect and say, well, how do we as individuals get off track when we want to do something, when we have a goal? And generally, it's the information that we allow to come into our mind. And sometimes we don't even know how things get there or how we get off track. And it's because we are consciously making decisions that can be maybe for what we want to accomplish or against what we want to accomplish. But that unconscious mind, which is also the subconscious mind, is something that plays like a background. And it's something that you may see, something that your brain is processing, and something that can be negative majority of the time, and you're not knowing it's affecting you negatively. So I learned a lot about the subconscious mind early on with a challenge that I had. So What's Your Self-Talk started from a challenge from a podcast that I used to listen to a lot. It was Zig Ziglar. It was Your Self-Talk Challenge. And so for some of you who follow me for a while, you may know a little bit about this, but I'm just go through it real simple and quick. So what I would do, I'll have to wake up in the morning. I'll have to have a list of qualities that I wanted to develop and I wanted to get better at. And so when I looked into the mirror, I would claim these qualities when I first got out of bed, and I would say, hey, I want to do better at this. I want to get better. And I will go about my day, and I will make sure that was the first thing I did when I got in bed. The first thing that I did when I got out of bed, and then when I got into bed, that was the first or the last thing that I read that I let into my subconscious mind. I didn't listen to no music. I didn't look at TV. I didn't look at or do anything but make sure I start reading off those qualities and saying, these are the things that I want to work on. And what I found out is when I did that over 30 days, it is so interesting how your mind is starting to formulate how you can attain and do better at those qualities. And it's almost like, I like the example, like, for instance, my wife wants a certain vehicle. And now, since my mind is focusing on wanting to get that vehicle, you now go out and I'll see this vehicle more often than I did before. Now, before my wife said she wanted this specific vehicle, I will see it here and there, but it really didn't poke out as much as possible. Now I'm like, man, everybody got this vehicle, right? So it's just like that, that vehicle that you never noticed, but now it's there because you've put it on your conscious mind. And just as much as our brain works to point out those things, it also block them out. Because I was paying attention to not that, but something else. So don't want to get off track, but did this challenge. And like I said, after that 30-day period, I was just like, man, I'll start developing these qualities inside of me that I am excited about. And recently, so I got off track from that, and I've kind of grew What's Your Self-Talk to what it is today. And that was kind of the reminder for me to always be cautious of what you put into your mind. It is your self-talk. And recently I was listening to a podcast, which I love listening to. This guy is The Secret of Success by Eric Thomas, Carl, Jamal King, and CJ. And Eric Thomas, if you don't know him, he's the #1 motivational speaker in the world. Easily just go to YouTube and put in Eric Thomas, Secret of Success. When you want to live as bad as you want to breathe. He have a lot of great speeches, but they have a podcast that I listen to, and they do a lot of breaking down of how to be able to make yourself better. And CJ, one of the brand ambassador who just shapes the brand in general, which is a brand ambassador, he was talking about when he first started off working with Eric Thomas. And so for them, they started just YouTube, putting up free videos, didn't have pay, didn't have anything. And he was telling a story about when Eric and them first started, and how Eric used to tell them, be careful on what you put inside your mind. He said, protect it. And so, CJ kind of brushed off. He's like, yeah, I'm good. He's like, I'm not easily influenced at all. And I've heard him now bring this back years later. He's like, man, I never understood how important that is. As you get older, you start realizing the things you put into your mind, and it has a huge influence. Like, think about, I have an example. So think about when you were younger, and maybe I was just a kid that only know this, but you didn't. But when you were younger, you all listen to everything, almost do everything that comes up, and you just, all over the place. And I used to always look at, older people. I'm like, man, why you don't know about this song? Why you don't know about this game? Why you don't know about what's going on here, and there? And like, it's just not important to me. And they didn't really go into it in great detail. And the older you get, more ambitions and more goals you have, and you understand like where you have your focus is where your energy is going to go. And so you realize like you can't use your mind going here and going there because it's not worth it. And when I was listening to CJ, he was talking about how as I got older, I was aware of the stuff I put into my mind. It dawned on me. It's like, why did I allow myself to get off track about what I put into my subconscious mind? And so I heard that, and then I was listening to another sermon when it was just talking about relationships, and it just hit me. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to just get away and get off of social media because there's so much time that I waste throughout the day just mindlessly scrolling. But I'm letting every single thing inside my mind, things I'm not ready for at that time, things that I'm looking for, but then I get distracted by something else. And just a weakness of mine. Like I can get on social media and specifically looking for one thing and something pop up. I'm that squirrel. So, and so I take a break from just having those apps on my phone. Now you may see me post here or post there, but I'll be doing that from my computer or I'll be doing it from my browser or something. But I personally wanted to take those apps away because I wanted to stop using them to just plague my conscious mind, my unconscious and conscious mind. Because you just sit around sometimes, you just be like, man, I wonder what such and such was talking about, or I want to go to the comments and see what somebody said here, or man, I was thinking the same thing too. And it's just unproductive information. It's just useless knowledge that sometimes you just pile up inside your mind and you just ask yourself, like, if I really want to accomplish this, if I want to do this for my family, I want to make this impact, how can I get better? It's protecting your subconscious mind. And so that is just kind of what got me to this topic. That is what was going to make me focus on that over the next couple of weeks. And I just want to know if maybe you do it with me. Would you be willing to say, all right, I'm going to take these apps off my phone and say, what are some things that I need to focus on, that I said I need to focus on? Maybe it was a goal at the beginning of the year, beginning of the quarter, before Corona or whatever. But realize that something is much more valuable than just seeing what everybody else is doing. Now, I run a business and we have to post stuff and I have to make sure I'm sharing. And so I have to find other ways to do that. That don't mean I want to stop doing that, but it's other ways to get things done, to not have those apps on my phone so I can just, get distracted. So, and I'm learning about that and I'll figure it out as I go. So this is a challenge. Can you go with me on a journey to protecting your subconscious mind and just delete social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and where could you be putting your mind and your energy? And what are the things you want to focus on? So over the next coming weeks, we'll dive into this more and the importance and how this have effect on your mood and how this will instantly clear your mind and make you better as a friend, child, parent, spouse, employer, and all the above. Because I've seen the results, I've read the results, and I know it works because I've put this to play to the very, very extreme. Listening to only certain things and even blocking or stopping people in their tracks if I hear them going down a wrong road that I don't want to listen to. So it works, and I want you to protect your subconscious mind, but you have to be able to identify what is that goal that you want to protect? What is the things that you want to work towards? Who are the people that you want to serve better? And ultimately, what do you want to accomplish on this time here? Because time, you can't get that back. So I thank you for listening. I look forward to bringing you more great knowledge on the power of subconscious mind, and want to know, hey, how long can you make it? 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, 30 days? And what will you do in return? What will you do to fill that time that you were using? And maybe I'll even show you on your phone how you can see how much time you've used to just mindlessly be on social media. Okay? So thank you for listening. As always, like, share, subscribe. We're one person who really just want to continue to dive into this world of improvement and become better. That's all this is. And it happens by you asking yourself one question. What's your self-talk? Talk to you soon.